A lot of people have this quiet moment. They open a budgeting app. They finally understand interest. They stop doing the dumb stuff. And for the first time, their money feels calmer, less chaos, fewer surprises, more control. And then they look at their paycheck, and it's basically the same. Maybe a small raise, maybe a bonus that disappears into rent. But the number that really matters, income, barely moves. That feeling is not you being lazy, and it's not you being ungrateful. It's a clue. Because most people were taught a very fair-sounding story. If you understand money earlier, everything improves. Some things do improve. You make fewer mistakes. You stop paying stupid taxes like late fees and high interest. You build buffers so one bad week doesn't wreck the month. Financial literacy is real. It can save you, but it often doesn't grow you. And the reason is uncomfortable. Income is not mainly a reward for understanding money. Income is a reward for where you sit inside a system. Not your effort, not your intentions, not even your discipline. Your seat. More specifically, your distance to consequences. Here's what that means. In any company, any market, any system, there are decisions that actually change outcomes. Some decisions change revenue. Some change costs. Some change risk. Some change what customers do next. And the system pays more to the people who sit near those decisions because those people are exposed to consequences. If your work touches consequences directly, the system pays more. If your work is buffered away from consequences, the system pays less. That's the part most money advice skips. It tells you how to behave inside your seat. It rarely tells you how seats are priced, so you can become very smart inside a cheap seat. And that's where the plateau comes from. Let me make it concrete. Picture two people in the same company. Similar intelligence, similar experience, similar hours. Both competent, both responsible. Person A prepares internal reports. They gather data, clean it, write the summary, make the slides. Person B approves decisions that affect revenue or cost. They decide, do we ship this feature? Do we discount this product? Do we cut this budget? Do we hire? Do we pause? Person A might actually work harder, and Person A might be the reason the decision is good. But the system prices them differently. Not because one is smarter, because one sits closer to consequences. I call this consequence density. It means how much real outcome is attached to your work. Income follows consequence density, not effort. This is why financial education often feels like it should increase income, but doesn't. Most financial education focuses on behavior. Spend less. Save more. Invest regularly. Avoid bad debt. Those rules are not fake. They reduce downside. They keep life from exploding. They're like insulation. If your house has holes in the wall, insulation helps you suffer less in winter. But insulation doesn't change the size of the house. Your income ceiling is often set before budgeting even matters. It's shaped by role design, decision authority, replaceability, risk exposure. And none of those things change just because you know what an index fund is. This is why people feel confused. They did what they were told. They became responsible. They learned the rules. And yet, nothing structural changed. That frustration gets mislabeled as impatience, or entitlement, or wanting something for nothing. But it's neither. It's a mismatch between what people think increases income and what systems actually reward. Systems don't pay for discipline. They pay for ownership. Ownership equals responsibility for the result. Ownership of decisions. ownership of outcomes that show up in the business, ownership of risk. Here's a simple micro example. Two people work on a project. One produces a detailed analysis. The analysis is clean, thoughtful, accurate. The other decides whether the company proceeds. The analysis matters, but the decision carries risk. If the decision is wrong, the company loses money. If the decision is right, the company gains money, and someone will be blamed or praised. Systems price that asymmetry. That's why knowledge alone doesn't scale income. Knowledge improves accuracy, but accuracy is not authority. And that explains something else that people don't like to say out loud. Why income gaps can persist among people with similar education. Education can equalize understanding. It does not equalize leverage. Leverage is what systems reward, and leverage is mostly structural, not personal. Two people can have the same degree, the same work ethic, the same financial literacy, and still be on different floors of the building, because one has access to decision layers and the other doesn't. Now here's the weird side effect of getting financially literate. It often increases awareness faster than control. You learn how money works before you gain the ability to change your exposure. So you start noticing problems you can't fix. You understand inflation erodes savings, but your income structure doesn't flex. You understand diversification, but your career risk is concentrated in one employer. You understand how debt works, but your rent rises faster than your raises. Financial literacy doesn't solve those mismatches. It makes them visible. That's why some financially educated people feel more anxious. The internet confuses financial literacy with financial mobility. They are not the same thing. Literacy stabilizes you where you are. It's insulation. Mobility requires access to different decision layers, different risk profiles, different value flows. Here's another micro example. Two freelancers charge the same hourly rate, same skill level. One sells time, the other sells outcomes. When demand increases, one gets busier. The other raises prices. Financial knowledge didn't create the difference. Structure did. None of this means financial literacy is useless. It's necessary, but insufficient. A foundation, not a multiplier. A floor, not a ladder.